A few helpful tips to improve your experience in Nightreign. Passives are insane. You pick up a weapon that has a passive, and it's going to be active at all times as long as it's in your inventory, and there's no red outline around the passive itself or a hand icon. Those symbols means it has to be in your main hand or offhand to get any value from the effect itself. Bosses drop loot for individual players, and sometimes it's absolutely terrible for you. Potentially amazing for a teammate. So you can be a better person, and if nothing there is great for your character, just grab something for your teammate instead. A good example is you can give a teammate the Star Scourge Greatsword of the Gods instead of you taking 10% extra FP on critical hits. You can ping items for your teammates when you stand on them. I couldn't say ping for about 5 minutes there, holy smokes. When you start a new expedition, the map you see is the one you get until you win or lose that expedition. So keep track of it. Day 1, do some things. On day 2, what you've already done can't be done again, so move on from there. Important structures to keep note of. These sandcastles are pretty glowy, give you an extra flask. Go to a bench, interact with it, now you have more healing. Blue flames are jump vents, massive for movement. Caverns have many bosses you can kill for an item to upgrade your weapons from blue quality to purple. When you first drop in, try and get level 2 from killing small mobs and look for the nearest grace site. You'll want to be level 2 or 3 before going to any of the boss areas. If there's an arrow next to the number in the top left, that means you can level up, using runes at the nearest grace site. When you kill bosses or complete encampments from killing bosses, you will spawn a grace site there. Please use it. I find myself often running away to a grace site in Narnia, wasting time instead of using the one I just spawned for myself and or my team. If you see giant bosses in the world, some are very easy to kill, others not so much. The simple way to tell is opening your map and looking for the skull. Gray skull with nothing around it, easy kill. A red outline around the exact same skull is death incarnate awaiting you and your compadres as you approach. If you don't have a decent bit of levels and good gear, you're screwed. You will waste so much time and likely die in the process, it becomes the most unworth thing imaginable. In most cases, don't fight the red outline skull until day 2. The map won't always tell you what you're fighting until you hit it once or get really close to it. Right here, I had no idea this guy's a red skull. I shoot it, I know for a fact it's taking no damage, and then I run away. Or try to. Mage towers actually have loot. They're these small skinny things on the minimap, and they're locked until you find and break a crest. The crest can be a few things, from a symbol on the ground or on the castle itself to a tree that is moving and must be destroyed. To break the crest on the ground, run into it, into the castle, and jump on the wall here. And keep going forward until you meet the guard railing, then go to the right, up the stairs, and your loot awaits you. Normally it gives you 2 weapons and a buff at the bottom. Use your ultimate more often. If you're playing Revenant, you can use it for some damage as well. You don't have to sit there and wait for folks to die to get value. You summon Sebastian, the giant skeleton, pop ultimate, and he goes to the beam attack. Sebastian, lock in. See? Beam attack. I don't know how you scale the beam damage. If I find it out, this could be pretty sick. Reviving teammates involves you beating the brakes off them until they're back on their feet. The more times they die, the longer it takes, up to about 3 times. That is the max it gets, and at that point, it takes forever, unless you use ultimates and abilities. Guardian can revive a fully maxed out dead person with 1 ult. Wilder may be in the same boat, not for certain on that. I do know that Revenant is kind of insane at reviving teammates that only have 1 or 2 bars. Raider can use his ultimate, raise someone to somewhat safety, and revive. Just be aware that enemies don't always respect the boulder. Your weapon's damage and attack speed will greatly impact how fast you revive teammates. You can also lock on to allies to make hitting them much more easy. The journal is where you can begin remembrances for characters, basically quest lines that unlock specific relics for that class or character. And more importantly, lore. There's a couple remembrances that make you do them on their own in a different quest dimension. Others you can do on expeditions with random people. When you're doing one for a character, as far as I can tell, try and stay on that character. Jarvis can sell you a whole bunch of things pertaining to your rights. You can buy essentially new loadouts for them. To use those, go to the relic right menu and press down on the D-pad. At the bottom here, you can gamble away in hopes of getting some pretty good rights. The storm should not scare you that badly, and a lot of games that have storm damage, people freak out for no good reason. In this case, you can have enough flasks and out-heal the storm damage, and running into random grace sites will replenish all of your flasks and your HP bar, allowing you to run further. When you're approaching the end boss of a round, you don't want to be in storm for too long, because I believe that grace sites may despawn. At the end of day 2 and killing that round's boss, you can go out into the storm and farm mobs for more runes if you need them to upgrade your character at the end of it when you go to the smithy on day 3, and or buy items. I saw some of those speedrunners doing that. It seemed pretty cool. It's a bit cheesy, but who cares? Get an idea for these smithies spawn locations that are always the same based on the location you're at. This castle, he's always in the outskirts right there. Don't get lost in the loot. Tons of things on the ground. They're not all that insane, but always open chests. They can give you things such as stonesword keys that then go in imp statues. That allows you to do a boss fight. They can give you pretty good rewards. 10k runes for sure, sometimes 20. These are found on the map as these little cotton ball circle pad things. I don't know a better description. They're just kind of big and circular. The big enemy camps tend to have bosses that share a community health bar, and you have to kill all of them to get any kind of loot. In this one in particular, you can climb the tower, and sometimes the last dude is up here. I didn't know that, and I missed out on loot a couple of times. Climbing it, by the way, is a nightmare. You can fast travel and roundtable hold. For reference, PS4 controller, pressing the giant button in the middle, brings up the menu and all the areas you can go to, and it'll highlight each one after you select it. When you go outside, be aware hitting that same button will bring up the menu to change settings in the sparring area. Your level, HP, all that good stuff to get a better tune for your character. And you can go to the right with the bumpers, or bumper, whatever this is, and change your character and potentially... Oh, that's how you fast travel. Ah, you go to the right and then it brings up the fast travel menu. Got it figured out, brother. Dodging while holding an input direction gives you a much longer animation versus standing still and pressing the dodge button. That's a small leap backwards. The Duchess character does this even faster, I believe. Let's go ahead and find out, actually. Fun fact, Duchess is in the Matrix. What is this dodge? Don't drop the friendship rope. You're not the mystery gang. Splitting up doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You all do different POIs. You're popping off, no one's dying, fantastic. You have to travel to every different POI and pick up the specific boss loot meant for you. That is a massive waste of time going to Narnia and back. And that's if you don't die. If you do, you lose a level, which I do believe has some protection on it. You can't lose it every time you die, but you can lose multiple levels from dying. You also lose time, which is important, and possibly your runes. You die once, runes get dropped. Sometimes a enemy mob has them on them. Gotta go back and kill that mob to get them. It's just not efficient from what I can see. If you all go to the same area, clear it out, communicate a little bit, hopefully if you're in Discord, if not, hey, just ping and hope it works out. That just seems to be a much better play. And if you're playing with randoms, you might have to follow them. Nothing is worse than splitting up, your random dies or you die on cooldown, and you get to the first boss, either you're useless or someone else is. That run is most likely scuffed. Irredeemable, it's not good. So play together, because you can also revive each other, and it just makes the whole experience more enjoyable. Here's to hoping those words helped you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good day.